oh, this video is far from perfect. It's not perfect at all. I'm eating my dinner. My makeup's not perfect. My hair's, not perfect. And what I want to highlight is, if we wait for everything to be perfect, my dog to not be drinking water, my cats not to be running around, the traffic noise to be settled down, I would never make a video. I would never have published my first book if I waited for everything to be perfect. So here's the thing about perfection. There's such a thing as good enough. And when we strive to be perfect, we can't help but miss the mark, because we aren't perfect. There's such a thing as reality. Things get in the way. The weather, our mood, our kids, our husband, our wife. A lot of things need to be taken into account when we try to be perfect. And I've been working with one client now for 4 years, and she's healing breast cancer. And there's two things standing in her way of her healing. One is the perfectionism. She has to have her house perfect, her bedroom perfect, her carpets vacuumed. It's only her and her husband in this 3,000 or 4,000 square foot house, but she doesn't like to have anybody come over unless the place is darn perfect. And I got to tell you that it makes life a real, it's a crapshoot, for one, because when is everything ever perfect? You put your Christmas tree up and the cat climbs up and knocks it down, and it's far from perfect. Or maybe like me, I was busy trying to record something this morning, and I'm making my breakfast, and guess what happened? My breakfast got burned. So here, when we're trying to do too many things at one time, nothing ends up being perfect. So number one, do one thing at a time. Don't multitask. And that's one thing that, I had to eat, and I had to get something done for You Wealth Revolution, which, by the way, I'm going to be on Wednesday the 14th, 1 o'clock, 4 o'clock Eastern. So perfection, if you have a book to write, if you have animals, if you, maybe you won't get animals because you want your house to be perfect. Well, you're missing out. Oh, thanks, Helen. She says, oh, this video is perfect. Thanks. So I have a house full of animals, and it's really hard for my house to stay clean and tidy. I can vacuum tomorrow, vacuum yesterday, and then the next day there's hair everywhere. So there's a lot of different things that we miss out on when we're trying to be perfect, like a lot of joy. There's so many things that we can do. And like, for example, when I dance, I am not a dancer. I'm a white woman. I told my editor, I said, I'm not a good dancer. And he said, well, you're Ukrainian and Celtic. He says, you've got the natural thing. Well, I don't know about that, but I love to dance. Does it preclude me from dancing because I'm not a great dancer? Heck no. Will I sing karaoke? I love to do it. Am I a good singer? No, I'm not. But, if I'm going to a concert, which I am, I'm going to go see Billy Idol in Palm Springs or Palm Desert in May. I'm going to be up dancing, and I won't care who sees me. So perfectionism will stop you from joy. Perfectionism will get in the way of you writing your book or releasing your book. Perfectionism will stop you from horseback riding because, I'm not a great rider. Perfectionism will stop you from dancing. And you know what? Live each day like it's your last and enjoy it, and stop trying to be so darn perfect. Do your best and know that there's such a thing as good enough. And speaking of good enough, I decided today that I'm taking all the scientific data out of my new book, Happy Anywhere, and I'm going to put it on my blog, because I don't think you want all that science, and if you want it, you can read it on my blog. So it's going to shorten the book because I want people with short attention spans to read this book. Happy Anywhere will be out really soon. So does anyone have a question about perfection? Oh, okay. Helen says, and this is really good. Thank you, Helen, for sharing. I'm a pain in the ass when I try to be perfect and when I expect it from others. You know, when we when we want others to be perfect, yes, we can really fall short and be quite disappointed. So speaking of dinner, mine is cooking, and I've got to go shoot another video, and I have to polish off this audio that I'm doing for You Wealth Revolution. So, oh, and by the way, I don't have a perfect tan, but I am exposing my bare skin here. So do you see all the things that I am doing? I was chewing at the beginning of this video. The lighting might not be perfect. There's traffic out there. So I just want to remind you, we aren't perfect, and you will stop yourself. You'll be in that, I can't do it because it's not perfect. I can't release this because